Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Play Again. Last time we talked about Adderall monsters. This time we're going to talk about the Addams Family. So Darryl, take it away.
Thanks, Lauren, and it seems like Thing is rather happy to see us too.
Yeah, I think you might like you, Darryl, actually. See?
Well, that's good to know. So today we're going to be talking about the Addams Family game, as Lauren said in the introduction, and this is actually the first of two games. We're going to be talking about the Addams Family values next episode, and it's also worth noting that this game should not be confused with the TurboGrafx CD game, which had exactly the same name, because in that game it had a slightly different story. So instead of the lawyer being the antagonist, he's actually the person you play as.
Yeah, that's really weird because I just can't imagine playing as the antagonist. I mean, Gomez is just so cool. Like, I can't imagine not playing as him.
I love his little balloon suit. He's such a cute character in this game. Look at him, he's so small.
It's so classic. I know, he's so adorable. Except, I think he kind of looks like the John Astin version of Gomez instead of the Raul Julia in the movie. But maybe that's just me.
So, does this bird have anything to do with the storyline of the film?
No! There is absolutely no bird in this movie at all.
How does the storyline of the game differ from the storyline in the film?
So basically, from what I understand, the game takes place near the end of the movie where the Addams Family mansion is overrun by Gomez's lawyer. The lawyer basically captures all of the mansion's inhabitants, and it's up to Gomez to defeat all of the area's guardians in order to save the family.
Exciting.
I know.
So, to get back all your different family members which have been horribly taken away by the lawyer, you have to go through all these different levels, and this first one here is the graveyard, which actually is the way to get Wednesday back.
Yeah, you have to go through a lot of levels in order to get to Wednesday. Like, there's a lot of levels intertwined with this one.
Well, you have to go through a lot of levels to get to everyone. I think this is probably the shortest passage.
Yeah, I always felt more comfortable doing this one than any of the other ones for some reason.
And what's great is that, as you'll notice as we play through the game, the levels, they vary so much. I mean, this is like under the graveyard, so it's got a bit of greenery in there, and as you'll see here in the next bit, there's also some water, which is a bit odd. You'll also note here that we've got like an invincibility thing on, and the music doesn't change at all, which is quite funny. The only way you can tell if it's wearing out is if you hear that do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, and it's very, very quick.
Also, like, it seems to last forever. Like,
there's not anything wrong with that. I actually prefer specials that last for a significantly long time, especially since you only get 3 hearts of life.
Yeah, definitely. And there seems to be an endless supply of enemies in this game. There's always something that shows up. Like, there's bunnies, there's millions of fish, everything.
There's big, giant green heads, which you'll see in a minute.
Yeah, the floating heads.
And if you... In case you're wondering, the big bird that we killed at the start was actually so that we get 3 hearts. Normally you'd only have 2 hearts, which makes the game even harder.
Yeah, we started off playing this game with only 2 hearts, and I don't think I didn't get far at all with 2 hearts.
No, and you'll also notice that we have 38 lives. We skipped a little bit in this video here. There's actually a way that you can get a ton of lives before you start, and if you don't get those lives, you will find the game next to impossible.
Yeah, and the lovely thing about the game, though, is that they have lives, like so many lives hidden within the game. Like, there's so many little passages that you can take in order to get extra lives. I guess the developers really knew that you need all of those lives in order to actually beat it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's one of those games that's really, really hard, but they subsidize that by the fact they give you so many lives. But then they kind of assume that you're going to know how to find all those lives, which I think is a bit harsh.
Or assume that by beating all these special bosses, you're somehow going to get all the hearts. Like, I actually didn't know that you could get 3 hearts until we beat the bird the first time we played this.
Yeah, and that was kind of random finding that as well. I was like, hey, wait, what's at the top of this tree? Oh, there's a huge bird.
It's like, oh, if you beat it, you get 3 hearts. There's also a bunch of other ones hidden throughout the game. Like, there's one in the kitchen where Grandmama is. you go the opposite way and you'll find this like big snowman and you fight him, and then I ended up with 4 hearts actually.
So this is actually where the game starts to get hard. Well, this specific path of the game. Jester's jump. Oh my... it's so frustrating.
I can't even like fathom how many lives I've wasted on this part.
I mean, we've done a little bit of video editing here, so this is the perfect run I did. And I say perfect, I still fall.
Yeah, just a little bit. But it's like nearly impossible to do without getting hurt because...
Yeah, I mean, timing these jumps is so frustrating.
And it only really gets harder after that level, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, here you have the difficult jumps, and you've also got the enemies flying around, and you've got to evade stuff as well, so it's more about timing.
And also those jumps just seem way too far. Like, you nearly can't make a jump without falling into the lava. You just can't.
Yeah. Or you just completely mistime your jump because you're trying to jump at the last possible moment. I mean, look, I've already lost 2 hearts and I've only been alive for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, but you have some nice jumping combos there. Jumping on those heads. I think those are really what get you across, is like just using the other enemies in order to get you further.
Yeah, and if you hold down jump, you also get like a really super high jump.
And sometimes that
nice.
really helps you, like, avoid a lot of them.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, here comes the gesture.
I'm still going,
Yes,
going,
you
still
are.
going.
You're going strong.
And now I've got the flying hat.
I love a flying hat. It's so silly. It's like a dunce cap.
Oh, dear.
Oh, there.
So you'll probably notice that we will start seeing the game over screen a lot from here on.
Yeah.
This is where the game starts to get pretty mean.
Definitely. And you don't really see a lot of hearts. I mean, you see a lot of money, but you don't really see a lot of hearts hanging around.
No, I mean, it's pretty much if you start losing hearts, then you should be resigned to the fact you're going to die soon.
Yeah, so that's why it's nice to have the extra lives under your belt. Oh, this part is such a rat.
This part of the game is pretty annoying. You've got to jump up and hit that switch, but you've got to be able to jump back, and it's a lot more difficult than it may look. And if you die, then you have to go back and do the whole thing again.
Yeah, because the switch doesn't change over, so you end up not being able to go through to the next bit. You have to reset it.
Fortunately, I didn't die until then.
Oh, you died. Yeah. This level is hard too. I hate utilizing the cannonballs. Like, it's just so difficult. You need so much with timing. Like, you just need to really time it the best that you can.
And I made a bit of a mistake there because I hit the eye too many times.
Can never hit the eye too many times, you know.
I mean, yeah, there's a heart there.
And you lost it.
But I mean, this is where the game starts to be a bit more challenging from the perspective. It's not necessarily about speed; it's about timing as well. And you got to time that. You got to jump on things to be able to reach certain platforms, and there's like projectiles flying at you from absolutely everywhere at some point, especially later on.
You gotta have your eye open at all times. I really like that, though. I really like that about this game, is that it really utilizes different puzzles, but they're like...
Yeah, and I mean, having so many lives also takes the pressure off as well. Like, if you die, then it's not the end of the world.
Definitely. You can just bounce right back and you know that you have like 34 lives left. But then once those dwindle down, then you're like, oh no.
Yeah, and like once you start getting down to like 5 lives, you're starting to think, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. I mean, fortunately, the game does use that password system. So, like, as you'll see when we get to the end of this part, you get a password and you can kind of just start from there again, and you've already unlocked everything you've done so far.
Yeah, and you can get even more lives, so that's really nice as well.
I believe we're getting to the end of this passage.
Yeah, I think we only have a couple levels left after this. We have this and then like maybe the anteroom, but it doesn't get any easier.
Yeah, this level can be very frustrating. Fortunately, I kind of breezed through it quite easily, but I've played through it a couple of times, so it kind of helped. I knew what was coming.
Yes, definitely. You knew that the fireball was there.
Yeah, And
that was all part of the plan.
So I mean, Lauren, I believe you know why this level can be quite annoying, because when you die, the eyes don't necessarily reset.
Yeah, the eyes don't reset. So sometimes it can be at your advantage, but sometimes it can really be at a huge disadvantage, because then you have to redo everything you just did.
And you've also got to try and figure out which eyes are related to which platforms.
Yeah.
So this is the ante-room that Lauren was just talking about, and it's probably the hardest level in this passage of play.
And it's fitting because it's the last one of this little set.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of brings everything together. So you've got like the eyes in here, you've got to try and avoid all these platforms, and they do them in very difficult ways.
Yeah, you have to avoid the freaking falling stars, you got mummies everywhere. A lot of stuff.
And they
going
put
on.
their enemies in the most awkward places.
Yeah.
So you kind of like there. I mean, you wouldn't know that was there unless you actually jumped into him and died because.
And it's so annoying because like you clearly jumped on top of him, but it still said that you like didn't, so you still died. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's another big jump, and there's another platform.
Which I apparently was standing on, even though I was clearly not.
Oh, you just got attacked by a cannonball. Those cannonballs really remind me of Mario, like at the part where the bullets.
And it also makes me laugh because they're being fired out of like a fish head.
Yeah. Again, this is still all underneath the mansion.
Yes, the magical mansion, which has so many hidden areas.
I wonder if David Beckham has this underneath
None of
his
which
mansion.
were ever mentioned anywhere.
Nah.
At the Buckingham Palace.
Yes. It has floating heads underneath it and fishies with
jesters and fireballs.
Yes, exactly.
Oh dear, there's another one of those fantastic jumps. It's so harsh,
I know.
especially because that fireball at the end kind of just.
I know, it's just you think you get past one part and then all of a sudden you're dead again.
Yeah, and you'll actually die quite a lot on this boss because he's rather mean. Fortunately, through the powers of video editing, I managed to beat it the first time.
Yeah.
I'm just that good.
Yep. You really are. No, the first time I played this boss specifically, I think I went through 19 lives or so.
Yeah, it was fun to listen to you going through that.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of explanatives which won't be reenacted on the show.
This is a family-friendly show, alright?
I know. Yeah, so this is why we don't record while we are playing the games, because I would shout a lot.
And we saved Wednesday! Yay!
Yay! And see, you get a password, so it's all good.
And now it's time to save Pugsley, but we're not going to record that.
No, that's all we got for today. In conclusion, I think it's safe to say that this game is definitely playable. Really, really hard, but playable. So, if you can, try and get your hands on a copy, and visit us next time on Let's Play Again. See you guys!